thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Cara. It's great to be here. Glad we managed to hook up.
Oh, I know, right? It's been a while that we've been going a little bit back and forth, and then of course the world turned upside down. None of us expected that. I think one of the, I don't know if you could quite call it a benefit, but one of the things that's been happening that I've noticed as a podcaster is that, well, everyone's at home, and so they're ready to record.
Yeah, these crazy times we're living in.
I'm really excited to be talking to you about kind of the concept of your book, Galileo's Error, Foundations for a New Science of Consciousness. This approach has a lot of crossover with the stuff that I've been interested in lately, educationally. Even less so with my scientific kind of communication and my journalistic coverage, but I've gone back to school to work on a PhD in clinical psychology, and my emphasis is actually in existential psychotherapy. So there's a lot of philosophy that feeds into this type of psychology, and of course consciousness, I think, is a really important conversation to be had. That said, I wonder how different our views are about consciousness. So I'm very excited to dig into what you think.
I don't know what is existential. I don't know. Maybe this is not the time to talk about it. Maybe, but I don't. It sounds interesting.
It's really interesting. It's basically just a therapeutic intervention or a therapeutic idea. I guess you could say it. You could say it's a whole kind of theory that's informed by existential views. So instead of taking a more psychoanalytic or a more cognitive behavioral approach to psychotherapy, you take a approach that's all about kind of deeper things like meaning, authenticity, and then there are some views about, like, you know, fears of death and loneliness and finding meaning.
Does that have any connection to what's his name now? Viktor Frankl, logotherapy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the kind of, in some ways, what people think of as a founder. And it's interesting because when it comes to existentialism, and I think the reason that I bring this up is because there's some parallels with what we're going to be talking about, panpsychism. When it comes to existentialism, there are a lot of ways you could slice and dice it, but there are two big camps that seem to play nice together. And one is a very secular camp, and that's the camp I'm in, which is kind of a Irvin Yalom camp, that it takes things from a more atheistic approach. And then, of course, there is a more religious camp where you might see like a Kierkegaard, or you might see like a Viktor Frankl, but it's kind of two sides of the same conversation. You know, one of the differences is there is inherent meaning in the world, and it's our job to uncover it. And then my view is that there is no meaning in the world, and it's our job to create it.
A bit of trivia. There's my UK publisher is the same publisher that Viktor Frankl had back in the day.
Oh wow!
Right.
Oh man, that's cool.
This is not my area of expertise, but you know, I have an interest in psychotherapy, and I think it's been in the back of my head actually somehow that, you know, is there sort of a lack of thinking about the meaning of life and finding meaning in existence, and you know, so that's I find that really interesting. I'll investigate further. I'll investigate further. I'll investigate further.